Safety is a big issue on this campus and all college campuses because it encompasses so much. Alcohol and drugs, for example. Recent reports both nationally and locally point to a surge in the use of hard drugs like heroin. Have we seen evidence of this heroin problem on our campus?
It's a great question, Shannon, and it's something that I worry about every night. And I'm thinking about impact on our community. So we have a local law enforcement meeting every year, and we start that. We have that in July. They gave us an update on drugs in our community this past year, and talking about impact on heroin specifically. And they've talked about it being an increase nationwide, and even where it comes from, and it's coming out of Charlotte specifically is one of the things that they shared with us. And we probably had 2 or 3 situations that have come forward through the Office of Student Conduct involving heroin specifically. So I would say it's rare that we see it. It's one of the things I worry about the most is hard drugs and the impact on our community and students that may be struggling with that.
What are we doing to educate our student body on this? If it is coming from Charlotte and North Carolina is seeing this increase, it's still a problem.
It is, and that's one of the pieces that we've added the last several years. We actually added a new session at orientation. We're talking about drugs, and we talk about alcohol during the summer orientation, but during the Welcome Week events, we added a new program called I Am Appalachian, and it's really student-focused, and it's been emceed by 2 students. And we really want to talk about who we are as a community, and we talk directly about alcohol use, high-risk drinking. We talk about drugs specifically. Alcohol and marijuana are the 2 pieces that we see the most in student conduct, but we want to talk about hard drugs as well and resources. We have a licensed alcohol and drug counselor on our campus in our wellness center. He is seeing students who are using hard drugs, and he's providing support to them and resources to them as they're navigating where they are. It's a very small number that are seeking out that, but it's certainly something that we're really cognizant of and thinking about the impact and want to talk about it early on through our orientation programming, but also through a number of different other programs that we've implemented.
Since you mentioned orientation, how important is that we're reaching out to the students there, especially on these issues like student safety and alcohol and drugs?
Orientation is such an important time to educate about resources and support and have some of these conversations, but it can't be the only conversation. Particularly I think about students' first year. We know the first 6 to 8 weeks is really important that they get connected to something on campus, and we really want to build opportunities for students to get connected, to become part of the fabric of who we are as an institution. So how we do that and how we build upon all that is really, really important from orientation on into the start of a semester.
So after orientation, once they're here, you mentioned the first 6 to 8 weeks. Studies show that those first couple of weeks are extremely critical to the acclimation of students to the entire campus. How does the university work with these freshmen and transfer students to kind of acclimate them to the culture here?
Well, it's a huge network of connections, and we want to try to support students. So when students first arrive on campus, I think about our Apple Corps leaders who are introducing them to a number of those programs that first week, particularly that first weekend. In terms of activities, I think about Club Expo and how important that is for students to get connected, to really see literally 300 student organizations all throughout the Convocation Center. I think about the role of our RAs, the resident assistants on every floor of the residence halls, play really key roles of going and knocking on doors. When I was a new student many years ago, I was an out-of-state student. I didn't know anybody at my institution, and my RA had an incredible impact on me by just gathering us to eat dinner and people on my floor to eat dinner, and that led to so many different connections. And we know Appalachian in and of itself is bigger than many students' hometowns, so how we build that personal connection, that deep level engagement that we're known for is really, really important in thinking about how do they navigate the first 6 to 8 weeks, and where does that launch them for other things the rest of their first semester and first year in particular.
A 2013 news article outlined the long history of problems at App State regarding the response or lack of it to sexual assaults. One of our own professors here conducted studies that showed there may be as many as 60 sexual assaults in a year, but the university reported much lower numbers. Do you think that that's accurate?
You look at the national data, and it's been the case for 20 years. 1 in 6 women nationally are survivors of sexual assault in their lifetime. You look at the collegiate data, is 1 in 4 to 1 in 5 women are sexually assaulted in their collegiate experiences. You translate that out into our community, and you certainly would be greater than the number of 60 as it relates to impact here at Appalachian. I think one of the pieces that we want to focus in on is reporting, and that certainly is the stigmas. And you look nationally at the numbers that are reported nationwide, and certainly here at Appalachian as well, they're low, and they've been low for a long time. And our focus as an Interpersonal Violence Council and our work here at Appalachian is to increase that reporting and enhance that environment where individuals come forward to report their experiences of interpersonal violence.
So why do you, as Dean of Students, think that students do not report sexual assault?
Oh goodness, there's all kinds of different reasons why folks don't report sexual assault on a multitude of levels. And you think about stigmas that are related to coming forward, and am I going to be believed? Are people going to blame me? Are people going to blame me for perhaps what I wore? They're going to blame me for perhaps because of the location where this happened in different ways. Is somebody in law enforcement going to trust me? What is it going to be involved? What's the process like in telling my story? There's all kinds of stigmas that really impact survivors from coming forward in different ways, and that's really where we really want to try to break that stigma. And how do we come forward? And you think about, how do we change this culture? How do we change this environment? We've got to be in it for the long haul, and we've got to be committed to doing all kinds of things as an institution to allow a safe place for folks to come forward. First and foremost, we want to make sure that any survivor has support, and then certainly how they want to report that. There's different options in which on our campus and our community members can do that.